Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's see. Okay. The chat. Hey. Hi. Very nice. Okay, let's see. Foundry, where have we been? Let's add a nice mixer. Hey, hi. Flash pong. Yeah, right. I cannot. Let's see. Let's start with a nice mixer here. I know I did this because I want Plato or plateau actually. Let's do this. Okay, Vim, you're also here. Dave, hi. How nice. Very cool. Welcome. So this will be again about Foundry. Hey, more people. So anyway, I have to speak to this. There is my chat. So anyway, again, we will go back and look at Foundry. I've uploaded a video yesterday. This can you hear me anyway? Let me know if you can hear me. So I uploaded a video yesterday about Foundry, Boaz, about Foundry, but I had the feeling that I didn't really had a look about everything. Loud and clear, this is nice. Gangster hoodie. Feedback echo, oh, that's for sure from here. Let's see if I can do this, but then I cannot hear myself. Let's see, if I do this, what happens? Okay, now it's better. Let's see. Is it better now? Better, that's good. Very nice. Okay, so let's do this. I have to look this way, I'm sorry. But this is where the chat is. And let's see, let's connect something just to see that this sound is also working. Can you hear VCV also? This is just a sine wave. Let's do this so it's not so boring. Oh. Haha, very nice. Okay. Yes. Very cool. Mr. Basic, hi. So anyway, Foundry re-upload this. Yeah, of course, it will be also later on YouTube. Very nice. It will be on YouTube later. But for now, let's start with Foundry. Do you have any questions before I start? I want to show you a bit how to create polyrhythms, and also there's something I forgot in the video to show you. I showed in the video about the different run modes, but what I forgot was the new geodesics module with Foundry. What I forgot is the run modes in song mode actually, because also in song mode you can use also the different run modes, which is also really interesting. So let's start building something. And actually let me use also the cosmic oscillator from Animated Circuits. It's a really interesting oscillator. I use it a lot lately. Maybe I will also use the geodesics module Entropia. It's, by the way, it's also been coded from the same developer of the Impromptu modules. So it's somehow connected. So let's see. Let's start. Where shall we start? So let's try create another chord. Or you know what? No, let's start with polyrhythms already. Let's have 4 cosmic oscillators. Why not? We can. And let's also do this. Let's take a VCA. I will use the quad VCA from AS because I have 4 voices. Which mixer is that? Which mixer is that? That's the mixer from AS. Unfiltered, yeah, FM synth. That's a mixer from AS. There are a few new variations of it. So we have the 2-channel, the 4-channel, and the 8-channel, and they're really cool because you can also chain them. You can also change them to one another, which is really cool. So now I have the quad VCA, and let's do something like this. Actually, I will need more because I want to use... So each cosmic oscillator is actually 2 oscillators. It's called a phase distortion. Oh! So Mark also joined us now. Mark is the developer of the Impromptu modules and also the coder of the geodesics modules. Say hi, respect. Hi Mark. So let's see. What I wanted now is, so each oscillator is actually 2 oscillators, 2 phase distortion oscillators, which means that I have 2 oscillators in each module, so we have actually 8. So let's add, just duplicate this. We will just duplicate the VCA, and let's see, let's set oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and let's route everything here together. Something like this. Very nice. Now let's activate also the second oscillator. So here we have the on and off buttons for the different oscillators. So for each oscillator. Yes, thank you Mark, for sure. Amazing. Beautiful modules. So let's see. So now I have both oscillators routed. I also have a mixed output, which maybe we will use later. And we activated both oscillators. Let's take the second oscillators also 1 octave up. Okay, and let's use... Let's see, let me think. Okay, let's use 2 rampage. I have them here as our ADSR modules, or function generator, or an envelope generator. And let's use let's see, let's use a clock multiplied by 4. Let's take this just a bit down. 111, that's a nice BPM. And let's send this clock to the first clock of Foundry. So like I said in the video, and I will say it again now, the clock inputs, I hear myself twice, just a second. Okay, the clock inputs of Foundry are normal to one another, which means, and if you can see, let me also zoom in here. If you can see the small arrows here, it means that the first clock is going to the second one is going to the third one, to the fourth, which means that this clock is now running all of the different clocks. So all of the different tracks I meant, and so they will all run with the same clock, the same BPM. So let's zoom out a bit again. Let's see that I'm not disturbing anything here. Okay, so let's start doing something like this. I'm on track A now. Like I said, we have 4 tracks. You're very welcome, yes. Okay, so we have 4 tracks, and I will start with the first track. Let's change its length with this button here, the length repeat button, and let's set this track A sequence 1 will be, let's say, 7 steps, and let's go to track B again, change the length, let's change this to 9, track C, let's change this to 5, or 5 I wanted, not 6, here. And then track D, let's see, something longer, maybe 15 steps, why not? So we have 7, 9, 5, and 15, which means lots of fun. And let's start programming some notes. Now there is something new added to this, or in this edition, or in this version of the Impromptu modules, which is the control right click. Until now we could enter notes by going step by step, or by right clicking the note, so the step will jump once forward. And now we can control on the keyboard, click control on the keyboard, supercomputer stream, and use VCV rec. No, I'm not using another computer, I'm using the same computer, and we will see how long it will survive. So let's see. Again, so you can click and hold control on your keyboard and right click the note, and it will not just go one step forward, it will also copy it, which is now in all of the Impromptu's sequencers. So let's do this. Let's see. Let's start with D, for example. Now I'm holding control, clicking control, right click. You can see the step moved one step forward, and D is still selected. So let's go. How many steps we have here? We have 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to F. And let's jump one octave to D. Let's also connect this already to the first oscillator. So CV to the volt per octave of the first cosmic. Gate to the first two inputs of the VCA. And from there, let's go already to the mixer. Let's pan this also left and right, just for fun. This is not what I wanted. I wanted to Rampage, actually. And from Rampage... Okay. Now we are cooking. Okay, I've been on the wrong track. Okay, so let's start again. D, F, A, B flat. Let's jump one octave to D. Again, I'm mistaking here. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, yes. Okay, again, one octave to D. F. And A. This oscillator. Okay, so this is a phase distortion oscillator, and with those two knobs here, because we have two oscillators, one for each oscillator. Let's take the wet a bit down here and the reverb, modulate this a bit, take the lows out. Okay, very nice. So so the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. The blue knobs here will be a sort of a low pass filter. It will have the same effect. You can hear this also. So let's already do something like this. 8FO from Bog Audio. If we look on the scope, this is an oscillator which can also go to low frequencies by clicking this button here. And let's take its frequency also down. Let's use a triangle wave. Now if you look on the scope, we have 8 different phases. I use this a lot in my videos, maybe you've seen this again. I just started, Bill. Hi Bill, we are just starting here. You didn't miss anything. So this is one phase. If I take a different output, we have a different phase. You can see a different output, another phase, which means that we have actually 8 slightly different LFOs, which we can use for modulating and creating lots of movement in the sound. It's beautiful, it's amazing. So let's use 8FO to the pad A CV input, which is this here. Open the attenuator. Let's push also the offset. Also, let's use the scope again. The offset will push the voltage upwards. Now it's -5 to +5 volts. If I push the offset, it will be 0 to 10. This will stay online later on my channel for sure. So now I push the offset, so the voltage went from 0 to +10. We have also a scale that we can lower this range, but we don't need to do this because we have attenuators and attenuverters everywhere. So let's do this. Let's send, this is going to the first oscillator of the first cosmic oscillator. Let's take another output. We will skip one, and this will go to the pad B, which is this here. Already, oh. This is nice. I need some more volume here. Oh yeah. You can hear everything in good levels, right? Let me know if not. Oh yes, yes, this is nice. So this is one oscillator, track A, sequence A. Let's concentrate on Foundry. Honey for ears. Track A, sequence A. Okay, so this is running. Let's go now to track B. And let's send CV to the second cosmic oscillator, gate to section B of Rampage, output B to the next 2 CV inputs of the VCA, of the first VCA, and from there to the mixer. Let's pan this also a bit left and right. I see what I'm going to do here already. Clocked as an oscillator. Don't play games with me. Okay. Track B. We have, if I remember correctly, 9 steps. So let's see, we are on D. Let's start already from 1 octave higher, go on D, and let's start on F actually. And again, I click and hold Control, right click, it goes 1 step forwards, and it copies also the note. So F, D, A, F, B flat, A, D 1 octave higher, then go back to B flat, then F again. And also here we're going to modulate, and let's select actually different waves here. So we have, this is amazing, we have actually 4 oscillators that are divided into two, which is now in one cosmic oscillator. So you see we have two rows here. We can choose different waveforms. Actually, it's not choosing waveforms. The initial waveform is a sine wave, and because of the phase distortion you can achieve or create different waveforms, and what you want to achieve you can select here. So here it will start all the way to the left, it will be a sine wave. Let's see if we can see this also on the scope. So I will take the first oscillator out. You can see it's a sine wave. And if I start opening this knob, it will start introducing phase distortion, and in the end we will receive a sawtooth wave. Look at the scope. You can see we have a sort of a sawtooth wave. If I choose a different wave, let's say a square, so it's still a sine wave, but when applying phase distortion, we get a sort of a square wave. And we have also three really interesting wave shapes. The this knob will be sort of a filter, a resonating filter, which also it's a really interesting effect. Look at the sine wave already and have a listen. We will use this, oh yeah. Let's open the attenuator a bit and take another output and modulate this knob here, the pad A. Hey man, yeah, welcome. It's okay, Bill, this video will be up later on my channel. So let's do the same for the second oscillator of the second cosmic. Let's see, let's use this here and modulate it also with a different output of the HFO. This is pad B. And what else we have in this oscillator? It's amazing. This oscillator is beautiful. We can activate the second activate the second oscillator, and by clicking this button here, and now we have this knob to control also the second phase distortion oscillator. And we can choose also here a different wave. Oh yes, this I want. So let's take it all the way to the left, open the attenuator all the way up, modulate it. This is pad A2, and this we can do just with the first oscillator from the two. You can see here we have an attenuator, here we have an attenuverter, and for the second oscillator we have only one CV input, so we can choose to modulate the first knob, the blue knob, let's call it, with an attenuator, and this will also modulate the green knob with an attenuverter, so we can also invert them. So let's see, let's choose also a different wave here. Yes, and let's do this. Leonardo, have a good one. Yes. Have a great weekend. And let's do this also for the second oscillator. Let's choose this here. Activate them. And let's go back to Foundry in a second. This is what it's all about. Okay. So we have track B also. Let's go to track C. Track C will be maybe a bit more bassy. Let's do this. And let's use actually a different clock. Let's multiply the clock just by 2. So we have the half. So let's say clock 2 to the third clock of Foundry, and now this will run both third and fourth tracks. CV to the cosmic oscillator, gate to another rampage we have here, and output A to the next two inputs of the VCA, and then to the mixer. Yes, cool. Let's change the sound also here a bit. Modulate pad A and pad A and pad B. Very nice. Sorry, you're right. Very nice. Okay, now what we can do. No, first of all, we have another. Let's do this really quickly. Another sequence here. And let's run this actually 8 times quicker. Gate to another rampage. And then to the where am I here, to the next output. Seattle, hello Seattle. This will go to the mixer. But what I want here, D, track D. We have 15. Oh, whoa. Let's see. Okay. So now let's do this. Let's transpose track D by 7 semitones, so by a perfect fifth. So let's go to the start, and I will select all until the end, and I will click the transpose or transposition rotation button. Now I can transpose the whole sequence in track D. So let's go 7 semitones up. Let's take the volume a bit down, like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do. Yes, Entropia. So now what I'm going to do, let's take the volume just a bit down. I'm going to use the CV2 output to modulate the fourth oscillator. But what I want to do, I don't want to start, let me just mute this for a second. I don't want to start entering note by note. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the Turing machine to write the values for me. So what I'm going to do is something like this. I need some space here. So let's take Foundry down. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the expansion panel here in the right click menu. Very nice. And I'm going to load also the Turing machine. And I'm going to run the Turing machine with the same clock, the multiplied by 8, and the Turing machine will output random voltage. Let's see, JW modules has minimum maximum, so I can see the minimum and maximum output, and I want it to have a bit more, so I raise the scale and it will go up to about let's say 10 is maybe too much, something like this, around 9, 7, 9. Okay, and this I'm going to connect to the CV2 input of track D. So this will write just to track D, but I need also to connect something to the right to trigger the right function. So I'm going to use the same clock, and now if you have a look on this here, on the CV2 values, you can see they are changing, and the Turing machine, you can see, so now the Turing machine is writing the CV2 values for us, so I don't have to go step by step and entering values. I could, but for now I don't want to. And now this CV2 of track D, and you have to pay attention if you want to write to a specific track. You have to make sure you're on this track. Now I'm on D, and you can see that the light next to track D is on, which means that I'm writing just to track D. If I go now to A, you can see the light went now next to the A track. So you have to pay attention to this. And now we can get rid of the Turing machine. Very nice. And now let's send the CV2 output of D. Let's send it to the pad A. And let's listen just to this for a second. This is the fourth oscillator, the really quick one. And now I'm going to open the attenuator and close the knob. So we have movement, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to activate the second oscillator of the second oscillator, which will be something like this maybe. And I'm going to take the knob all the way up and close the attenuator, or turn it to the left, to the negative side, to invert the signal. And I'm going to use the same CV2 output. So now we have again even more movement. And let's use here this here. Very nice. And this we will modulate. Let's use Rampage. Oh no, this I'm modulating already. Like this. Oh yes. Let's see. Take it 1 octave higher. Oh yes, and let's detune all of them with the sense a bit to the left, a bit to the right, just to create some more movement. Some detune is always good for motion. Let's close the expansion panel. Save this patch, by the way. After we are finished here, I will put this this patch, maybe there will be more patches today. In the description, there will be a link in the description. Now what I want to do, we will continue soon in a second with Foundry, but now I feel like I want to take the voices in and out. And let's use 8FO for this, why not? So let's use it for the volume. We have 8 different so channels here, which we can modulate the level. So let's use the 8 different outputs of the 8FO. Oh, Mark, so now we don't have to select to transpose. This is good. It makes sense actually. Why shall I transpose step by step? Of course. Okay, so now we have even more movement. And let's continue with Foundry. Now let's create... Shall we create a song? Let's add another Foundry. Oh, you have the expert slippers. Richard, how is it? Tell us a bit about it. How is the expert slippers 8? No, everything is good, Mark. We are all here to learn. So let's do something like this. Now let's take another Foundry. And let's take this here for a second. Let's make here some space. Okay, save. 8FO is going up. Let's initialize this Foundry and let's create some chords. Let's create some chords. So what I will use now, let's use the even 3 from Squinky Labs, 3 even VCOs in one module, it's always good. And let's take another clocked. I will duplicate this clocked and I will chain both of them. Interesting to not know VCO and what is scope change. But to send hardware to VCVREC you don't need expert slippers, oh? I mean, also have the neutron, I'm just sending the audio. But the other way around is it's the difficult path. Anyway, soon we will have also MIDI out and we'll see how it is. So let's concentrate on Foundry. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do something like this. I will use again the Turing machine and I will use Quantum from ML. Let's take the oscillator here. We will open again the expansion panel and I'm going to clock Foundry, the Turing machine with our clock. Very nice, and I'm going to send it. Let's take the scale a bit down. I'm going to send it to Quantum, and in Quantum I'm going to enter three or 2 notes. Let's try 3 notes and see what happens. D, A, and B flat. And now this I'm going to send. First of all, I'm going to select all to click this button. Now you can see the lights next to the CV inputs went on. So I'm going to send quantum to all of the CV inputs. So I'm going to write on all tracks, and I'm going to connect the same clock to the write function. So now I'm writing notes to all tracks. And let's wait and see. You can see this also on the keyboard. You can see the notes are changing, but we have just 3 notes selected on quantum, but different octaves. You can see this also going between the different octaves. So now we can take the write out and the CV inputs also out. Let's deactivate the all function. And now let's do something like this. I'm going to turn the random run mode on track A. So now track A will move randomly, and this is something someone on a Facebook group asked how we can sync between the different tracks. So this is something that is built into Foundry. Track A will be the master, and track A will be on random, but track B, C, and D we will put on a special run mode which is called track A or take A, and this is the last mode. And what it will do, it will follow track A wherever it goes. Never mind, track A is on random, where it lands there will go also B, C, and D. So we make sure that we have always the same structure of our chord. So let's do this for B, C, and D. And let's do something like this, just for fun. I still have no idea how it sounds like. We can delete the Turing machine and quantum. I will save this again. We can close. I didn't even use it, but I will close the expansion now. Let's take our oscillator here. And we will use one more oscillator, and soon we'll see. Okay, so what I want to do now, track A is on random. And let's do this. Let's see. Clock input will go from divided by 4 clock. This will go to the CV input, the first CV input, track A, to the even 3. The second track, track B, will go to the second volt per octave input, and so on. Let's use another oscillator. Let's see. Let's use the palm loop oscillator. Yes, the palm loop oscillator. Very nice. Okay, the last CV output to the volt per octave input of the palm loop oscillator. Let's turn the attach on so we can see where we are. And let's see. Let's use a mixer first to mix all the voices together. I will use the 4-channel mixer from AS. And let's use square waves. And I will use again the 8FO to modulate their pulse width, which again adds movement and motion. Let's close the pulse width a bit and open the attenuator. And let's take this to the mixer. 1, 2, 3, and also a sawtooth wave from the palm loop oscillator. And let's take the octaves here a bit down, 2, 3, 3, and let's take this 1 down. let's see. Let's send this to a filter. Let's use the filter from Blamsoft, the F35. And let's use a state variable 12 two-pole filter, drive a bit more resonance, and let's send this to another plateau. Why I say plateau all the time? Plateau. And another stereo channel, because this reverb can tend to be a bit hot. Just to take this a bit down. More modulation, cut the lows. Let's turn the diffusion all the way left. A bit less decay. Maybe some pre-delay. And this will go to the mix input. Oh yes, this is hot. Okay, now we need to reset everything together so it will sit. Let's do this here, reset, and reset, and reset. Very nice. Okay, what I will do, I will send it. I will take this stereo channel here, and I will send it instead to this mixer. It will go to the next stereo channel. And this will go here up. So now we are cooking. Oh, this is hot, my god. Let's take the time out of it. Okay, we need another mono channel. I'm going to add the sub oscillator from the palm loop oscillator. So I need another mono channel. Let's route it also here. You ready? Let's take the volume a bit down, just a second. Let's do this. Ooh. Okay, and let's add another ADSR module from Bog Audio. Let's have a long attack, long release. We'll see how it works with our clock. We will take the gate output from Foundry, and this will modulate the cutoff point of the filter. Let's see that the attack and release are not too long. Okay, let's divide this by 16, reset everything again. And again, track A is moving so it's moving randomly, and track B, C, and D are following it. So it's keeping the same structure of our chord. Okay, let's see, we have Rampage here. Oh yes, I want to modulate the rise of all 4 channels of Rampage. Oh baby. let's do this. Let's use again the 8FO. Now I'm tending to use the same modulation source. And why is that? That's because I want to keep everything moving, but somehow everything is connected. You don't really realize what it is until you see it, but everything is connected. Oh baby, yes, everything is connected and sounds somehow related. The sounds are somehow related to one another. So let's do this. Let's use the 8FO, but I will want to use some sort of attenuation. So let's use, if we are with Befaco, let's use another quad VCA. Now what is a VCA? Voltage control attenuator. This is not amplifying anything. In this case it's attenuating. So here we can attenuate 4 signals. So let's do this. 1, let's jump 2, 3 and 4. And let's close them all the way. And then send them to the rise input of all 4 channels we have here from 2 Befacos. And let's open the attenuation. Yeah, Veils is also good. Why not? Yeah, for sure. I think it's somehow the same, oh? I mean, let's see. Audible instruments, quad VCA. Yeah, this is also mixing the signal. Also, this is mixing the signal. I think it's the same, just different skin. Yeah, it's also a possibility. Just a bit more. Yes, 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 yes. No, I mean this is VCV rack. We have lots of modules. Some of them are doing the same thing. Mecha squirrels you have left. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It's still okay. Looks okay. I mean, I think just the filter from Blamsoft and the reverb are really heavy here. Everything else, I mean, you can see plateau is about 20 something milliseconds, filter also. Shall we start a new one? I mean, you can go ahead, go with this, but I think with everything that concerns Foundry in dispatch, I'm not beta testing one, no. I'm not. You know me too, Pennywise. Hi. I also have some picks. You know, I noticed. I think it's especially with contact. It happens. Contact and reactor. I don't know why. But I have strange noises when I use this. I don't know. I have a patch. I've recorded yesterday a patch. It will be up on Sunday with Entropia, by the way. And I also used Monarch, which is an amazing synth. It's based in a reactor. Yeah, and it got those pops all the time. It was hard recording it. I don't know why, but the thing is, you know, I think that it's not going in the recording. I mean, you hear the pops. but it's not going in the recording. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Okay, what do you think? Shall we start a new one? You have any questions about Foundry? You want to know more? Or shall we just start something new? Let's save this. Let's call this live stream 1. Oh yeah. Hey man, Nadim! How are you? You can listen for this. You can listen to this for hours, Boaz. Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. What do we do now? Hey Nadim, that's great. The Beats the Pro is a monster. Really, it's crazy. Entropia. Entropia or entropy? Now I can show it. Wow, I was... let's see. Entropia it's called. Entropia, it's a beautiful sequencer, but this is here. I can also listen to this even more. Entropia, yes. So Nadim, you got it with Reaper. That's really good. That's really good. I also use Reaper. It's amazing. It's really light. Actually, also now I'm using it. It's really light on the resources. Very cool. The clay sequencer, man. That's a piece of art. And Marius, Entropia. Mark, are you still with us? Noisy blamps of oscillator. Okay, come on. Let's start another patch. Let's see. Let's start. No, I will start a total new one. New. Okay. Mark, you want to say something about Foundry? Someone wants to ask anything about Foundry. Something you want to know. You try to do something and it didn't work, or it did work and you want to share it with us. It's also amazing. That was a nice patch. Yeah, let's build another one. Let's use the Blamsoft oscillator. And we will use, oh yes, I can see this already. We'll use the CV2 to modulate all sorts of stuff. Let's do this. I need the audio module, and this is going to Reaper. Very nice. If you want, later there will be a link to this patch in the description. You can download it and have a closer look. You can use it if you want. Feel free. Just don't forget to share it with us. Okay, let's see. What else I want to show you about Foundry? Let's do something. Let's try to build a song, okay? Use Entropia. You really want me to use it, huh? Let's see. Let's start with Blamsoft. Blamsoft and Wave. What an oscillator. I need something. Where is it? Ah, it's here. Just a second. How are my mushrooms? My collection of mushrooms. I think this is the biggest I have. Oh no, I have a bigger one. I have this one here. Look here. So those are the two. Yes. Look at this here. Mushrooms. It's black and white, but they're still beautiful. Yes. Okay. Let's continue. If I eat. Now I have nothing to eat. So. What shall we do now? Okay, someone asked me a few days ago someone asked me a few days ago, he wanted to create an 8-step sequence from a sample and hold. So he wanted the sample and hold to generate a sequence, but a sequence that will repeat itself, and it will be an 8-step long sequence. So let's see how we can do this. We will use sample and hold. The sample and hold we will write into Foundry, and then we will have an 8-step sequence that will change. Maybe we can also create songs with it. So let's see. Which sample and hold shall we use? Let's use... Oh, brains. Ta-da-da-dum. Use the new Volt. Yes, wow. It got released today. Leakage, I think it's called, or something. Let's see. Volt. You think I can? Right, like this. Let's see. Leakage, which is also sample and hold, envelope follower. All sorts of stuff here, and also noise generator. Really nice. No, so let's use leakage. Let's use leakage. Why not? So we'll need also a quantizer, and let's use the one from JW. Quantizer, very nice. And let's set this to E. E Dorian, E blues. Let's make a blues song. Let's try to make a blues. Why not? Okay, so I'll take a clock. Let's see this also on the scope. So we have leakage, which is actually, it's actually a small part of flux, which is also Volt, of course. Volt, VCV, the Volt God. Future video soon is the new Nischi Buchla 208 series. Buchla, I say Buchla all the time, but it's Buchla. The Buchla. Yeah, the 208 series. Maybe, we will see. Let's start with this one. Okay, so let's clock the sample and hold module. You can see now the sample and hold is blinking. It will sample its built-in noise. And this we will send to the quantizer, and let's see this also on the scope. So we have pretty easy sample and hold. Let's take the range a bit down so we don't get too many octaves, let's say. Okay, now I want that this will generate an 8-step sequence that will repeat itself a few times and then will change. So let's see how we do this. And I will use Foundry for this. We will use also four tracks of Foundry. And let's start with track A, sequence 1. Let's add also a mixer. And I will add again some reverb. I'm lost without a reverb. Let's take the beta, decay, a bit modulation, okay. And another stereo channel, because this can get too loud. Okay, so let's do this. First of all, what do we need? We will need to connect this sample and hold, this quantized sample and hold, to the CV input of the first track. And what I want to do, I want an 8-step sequence. So I just shorten the sequence, and I will use flow from AS. And what flow will do, it will stop or let the signal flow to Foundry. So, and what I want to stop all the time is the write function. And I will do something like this. I will send I will send a multiply clock to the sample and hold, and I will send the same clock to the input of flow, and let's close it also for now. So now if I connect it to the write function, you can see nothing goes through, it's not writing anything. And what I wanted to do, I wanted every 8 steps, which means divided by 16, because it's multiplied by 2, it will open flow, and then again 8 steps, it will close it. So actually I need divided by 4 actually. I need divided by 4, not by 16. Okay, so this will go to the external input of flow. So let's see. First of all, let's connect this. I need also a clock. The same clock of the sample and hold will drive also Foundry. The CV will go to the volt per octave of wave. And from there we will go to the mixer. And let's use slap, also volt, ADSR with a built-in VCA. So this will go, I need 2 of those because we have a stereo signal. So the oscillator will go to the input of the VCA. Let's take the sustain all the way down. So we have something nice and snappy. From there it will go to our mixer, and the gate will come from the first track. Very nice. Let's use a different wave. We'll use... Come on, you choose. Choose a wave. Come on. Pulse width modulated, FM, modern, phase distortion. Your choice. Modern. Which one? Babel, Chatter, Plasma, Roto, Viking or modern, Wobbly, Roto for sure, Ooh. Let's see how is Wobbly. Oh, Wobbly is also nice. And let's see how is Viking. Oh, this is interesting. Let's add some noise. Okay, so again, the clock division will go to the external input of flow. And now it's writing, now it's stopping. Mark, are you here? Look, when I have an 8-step sequence, it continues writing on the sequence. Shall I send it also to the reset input? Will it help? Because I want it to write just on those 8 steps. So let's see if the reset input will help. Music can be a little louder. Yeah, sure, gladly. No. Okay, Mark, if you are here, let's see how we can do this. Yeah, sure, Vim, no worries. Okay, so now we have a sample and hold writing melody on Foundry. And let's have this actually a bit quicker. Let's see, let's divide this by 2 and multiply this by 4. Let's take this a bit down. Okay. A bit less noise. Let's add more waveforms, add some harmonics. Maybe a bit less noise. Maybe no noise. Okay. So now we have a sequence being written on track A of Foundry from the sample and hold section of leakage. And let's use the CV2 to modulate the sustain level of both slap, electric marimba, yeah, sure. Which means that now let's go step by step and change the settings of the CV2. And let's see. Let's take the write function out for a second so we can write. Start from 0 or about 0 and go up a bit. So this is the CV2, which will modulate for now the sustain, but it will also modulate, let's see. Let's modulate the position. Oh yeah, I hear delay in my ears. The dual delay from MSM, it got some new updates recently. Let's sync it with our clock. And let's see. Triplet or dotted quarter note. Mark, I need your help. If you are here. Let's connect the write function again. If you can see, I have an 8-step sequence, and I want to write just on those 8 steps, but you can see the write function goes on the whole sequence, through the whole sequence. Okay, let's see. First of all, to the delay, from the delay, and take the level a bit up. A bit more feedback. Let's take the low frequencies a bit out. Oh, I love this. Now the CV2 is not randomized, no. I went step by step and changed its values. So now the notes are changing. The notes are changing. No way to make it stop, okay? Okay, never mind. Still we have sequence which is arriving from the sample and hold. So it's sort of random. It's been quantized to a blues scale. And it's changing every now and then. Now I want to modulate the delay time. So let's see. Let's do something like this. Let's take a VCA, close it all the way down. Again, VCA, voltage control attenuator, it's not amplifying anything at this point. There are also amplifiers, but this is not an amplifier, this is an attenuator, and we will use it to attenuate the sample and hold signal. And let's do, this is too quick, let's add another leakage and clock it with a much slower clock, let's say divided by 7, why not? Let's clock it. To turn auto step and get some automation to control the step position with the end. CV inputs special, but it might be messy, yeah. Let's see. Auto step off. but it will still go beyond the point of 8 steps. If I go just right, I have to go right and then left. Let's change also the play mode here, the run mode. Let's change this to pendulum, which will go right and left without repeating the first and last step twice, like ping pong. Thanks, man. Let's see if I can say this name. I cannot. I will just say nation. Thanks. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Like I said before, this video will be available on my channel later. Rick! Hey, Rick! Just Rick. Rick, have a good one. Thanks for joining us. Another right-click option that will write just on the length of the sequence. This can work, yeah? Sure, yeah. This will be great. So also, when writing with the keyboard, with the MIDI keyboard, it can also help, not just with random sources. So you can just write without thinking where the sequence ends. Okay, let's go back to the delay. So I don't need the VCA because I have another leakage, and the leakage has a range knob. And let's send this to the time CV input, or the first side of the delay. Yes. And take another leakage. Clock it from the same clock to the second side. Okay, now I want to do, let's do this. Let's copy this sequence. So I will again disconnect shortly the write function, so the this white dot, the read head, will not move all the time, or the write head. Could be a check now, allow writing past length in the frozen. Yeah, sure, Mark, that will work. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, so now I will copy the 8 steps. I will select them, copy them, go to track B, and I will paste them. So now we have the same notes. Let's connect this again to the right, but they will not be modulated, and I will have to change the length also to 8. They will not be they will stay the same. Let's add some more modulation here before we move on. And let's see, let's reverse the wave. Let's use the same CV output, so everything has a nice rhythm to it. You can see the changes here. And let's also saturate it. Oh yeah. Okay, now I'm on B, so it will not write on A anymore. So let's just make in B something. Let's add another wave. Okay, let's take this to the dark side for a second. And let's use track B, let's clock it with the slower clock. Let's use the divided by 7. And let's use what can be a nice bass sound, let's say FM. Let's just for a second initialize it and go to FM or PWM. FM. Okay, then the CV output to the volt per octave input of the second oscillator, this wave, and this will go. Let me just save this again. This will be stream 2 again, links later in the description. Blemsoft F35. Let's use a different filter now. Let's use this one. Why not? And let's send this to the mixer. Take the octaves down. Maybe too low. Okay, so let's go step by step and change for a second the octaves here. So this is nice. This is also nice. This is okay. This maybe 1 octave lower. This 1 octave lower. I want just the bass ranges. Okay. Hey! Hi, hi, hi. Okay, and let's do this. Let's again change the values. No, actually we have the values already changed. But what I will do, I will use a slew limiter. I think Bog Audio have a new slew limiter, right? Yes, why not? Let's use this one. And I will send the CV out to the slew limiter, and what the slew limiter will do, it will take a stepped voltage and it will add a slide. Actually what it will do, it will limit the voltage over time, which will create a sort of a slide between the different values. So if now we had a jump, now we have a sort of a slide between the different values. Let's add a bit more rise and a bit more fall. Dark skin, oh yes, look, we have 3 skins, beautiful skins. Liquid metal, which is really nice, and we have also dark valor. Yes, let's get rid of the scope for now and let's modulate something. Also to modulate the cutoff point. Nice, yeah, I also think it's really nice, yeah. But let's go back to track A, so it will write to track A the different pitches. This is blues. Let's see, what can we do here? Let's add mirror sync, and what happens when I will send this oscillator to modulate this one? Wow. Okay, so what we will do this. We will use a VCA, and let's use another slew limiter, and we will send the gate from the gate output to the slew limiter. So what we will get is not a square wave anymore, it will be a sort of a plucked bass. Oh yes, also, but you can see it's a sort of a triangle wave, and this I will use to modulate the VCA, and I will send the oscillator to the VCA, and this will modulate the mirror, the second oscillator. Now let's add a plucky bass. So let's use another track. Let's use track C. Oh. Actually, before I do this, let's use clouds to add some atmosphere, to add some texture. And let's send the oscillator to clouds. Let's take the blend all the way up. The spread all the way up. Feedback, just a bit feedback, and reverb. Not all the way up, but something like this. And density. Input gain. This is too low. So let's add the limiter, also from Boga Audio, to the mixer. Let's solo this for a second. Texture. Yes. Maybe reverb all the way. Let's listen to this. Plucky bass. Okay, track C. Track C. Let's copy. Take the right for a second out. Let's copy track B. Copy to track C. Paste. Very nice. And what we will do now, we will use a different clock. So let's again duplicate clocked and use maybe. Let's change the clock resolution for track C. I will use different gate modes. Why we need to change the clock resolution? So let's say we have a clock resolution of 4 ppqn, which means 4 pulses per quarter note. So we have, between each quarter note, we have 4 pulses, which means we have more space to use more gates in this space. If we had just 1 ppqn, what we have usually, we didn't have space between the quarter notes to use different gate modes, like here in this sequencer, for example. So we need to use a different clock resolution, so we have space between the notes to enter more gates. So let's use a different clock resolution. Let's use a clock resolution of, let's say, 12. So we have all of the gate modes. Yes, a drunk guitarist, yes. So we have clock resolution of 12. We will need also a multiplied by 12 clock. I will use a multiplied by 24 because I want it actually multiplied by 2. If you follow me. Let's send this to the clock. Okay, so now we have actually a multiplied by 2 sequence. And let's add a bass. Which oscillator shall I use? Oh, let's use Basil from Volt. And we save this again. And let's use again Slap, or let's use actually, no, Slap is okay. Slap is okay. So we'll send Basil to Slap, to the mixer, but I don't want this. Now let's let it go to the reverb, why not? See how it sounds like. So the gate will come from our sequence. Take the sustain all the way down. Let's take the octave down. Take the length. Let's have it a 5-step sequence. CV. Let's reset everything. Yeah. I need some filter on this sound here. Oh, this is nice. And let's do this also. Okay. Let's delay the clock of track C to make it offbeat. Now the clock delay in Foundry will delay the signal in the fractions of the steps of the clock. So let's say now we have a clock resolution of 12. It's very hypnotic, yes, that's true. Now I'm going to make it offbeat. So we have a clock resolution of 12, which means that each delay, if we delay it by 1, it will delay it by 1/12 of a note. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. There has some really nice filters. Lindenberg research. So let's see, if I want to make it offbeat, let's delay it by 6, and now we will have to reset everything so it will take effect. Let's see, let's delay it by 8 maybe. No, that's out of, I think 6. 6 was okay. We need to run something like this. Mine would be glitching like crazy if I tried something this complex. Yeah. Yeah. My old laptop, it will not survive one wave oscillator even. That's true. Yeah. Okay, so now we have this. Now if we already mentioned Lindenberg research, I really like West Coast complex shaper. Lindenberg research, let's change it to old aged and used look. Again, Lindenberg research, and let's saturate. I love saturation. Let's saturate bass a little bit. So let's send it first of all. Yes. And let's use, yes, I know. Let's copy again those 8 notes to track D. Dubby, yeah. Track D. Did I copy it? Copy. Track D, paste. Now you see track D. Oh, I didn't use, first of all, track C. Sorry, I wanted to use different gate modes. So let's see. Let's take step number 3, make it a sort of a triplet. No, you cannot hear this. Let's make this. Let me just mute everything so we can hear it. Let's make here. Yes. Oh. So these are the new, or not the new, but I'm sorry guys, I need a kick here. Yes, hey Vim, yes, it's really nice. It's a really nice melody, yes. Yummy. I need a kick here. So after the reverb, and let's use the one and only knock. Knock. I will already take the time a bit down, the blend. I want something not too punchy, depth of the noise all the way down. And let's see how it works with our clock. Maybe we'll have to change it. Oh, well, now we will have to go out of here. No. Okay, so let's use a different clock. Let's delay it. No, I need a slower clock. Yes. Let's mute everything for a second. Listen to the... What is this sound? Can you hear this noise? It's nice, but maybe just I can hear it. Yes. Oh, baby. No noise, you cannot hear noise, so it's just on my end. It sounds nice actually, maybe I can add some noise. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Let's add another shaper. And let's use not saturation, let's use search. Oh. This I'm going to modulate. Let's use just one LFO and push it all the way up. This also I really like in the Lindenberg research modules. You can see the modulation in real time. Hey Mark, thanks so much. Wow, thank you. Thank you for the amazing modules and have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. Guys, respect Mark. VCV Rec would have looked totally different without this guy. Thank you. Respect, Mark, respect. Wow. Okay, now I want to add a drunken guitarist to all of this, and for this I will use track D. Now track D will follow the clock of track C, which is multiplied by 24. So let's use a different clock for this. And I will want to use something more random. So let's use a few Bernoulli gates. Let's use 2. And what I will do, I will take the normal clock, send it to the first Bernoulli gate. Yes, respect, respect, respect. And the first output will go to the second, no, to the second part of the Bernoulli gate. Actually, they are normaled, but let's do this anyway and take this output to the second Bernoulli gate and this output to the fourth Bernoulli gate, and this will drive the clock of track D. And let's just change the probability here a bit, so we'll get a few more clocks. And let's actually use a multiplied clock. Let's multiply it by 3. Okay, and now let's use, what shall we use? I know what we will use. We'll use braids in pluck mode. Needs more cowbell. Let's see. Hora. SoftBell, maracas. Let's use the SoftBell. Needs more cowbell. Okay. Trigger SoftBell. Let's use this output of the Bernoulli gate. And let's use AS modules. Let's use AP modules. Buffer sampler. Send this to the buffer sampler. From the buffer sampler to the mixer. And let's modulate the width. You need more mixer, yeah, for sure. I will add one soon. No, this is not what I wanted. I wanted something different. I wanted a delay. AS. Oh yes, this sound is nice. Delay plus FX. This will go to the delay, from the delay to the mixer. A bit more feedback, maybe a bit darker, less mix, more time. Let's change also the frequency, modulate the frequency. Yes, it's not a cowbell, but it is a bell. And it's adding to the sound, it's nice. Let's take the volume just a bit down. And now, so I wanted to use track D. What I will need is another mixer. I will add now another mixer. We have a 2-channel mixer, and this is what I will use, and this will go to the mix in of this mixer here. Yes. And we will send the guitar, and we will use the CV to the volt per octave of the pluck of braids, and then the gate to trigger it. Let's change this to an 7 step. And let's change the run mode to Brownian, which will go in Brownian motion, a bit to the right, a bit to the left, a bit more to the left, a bit more to the right. Let's take the timbre, drag it down, so it's not so with the longer decay, make it a bit darker. And let's see, let's transpose this by 7 semitones down. Let's see an octave. Let's no, this is not what I wanted. The new volt module, here it's here. Leakage. Three of them. Now just sample and hold. But still they are there. But I want to change this sound to be something different. Let's see. I know. Lupulo 3. Yeah, the top, sorry. Magician letting you in on the secrets. What shall I say, man? Thank you, really. I'm having fun. I'm really enjoying being in this world. So now this is going to Lupulo, which is a looper. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use 2 of them. And I'm going to use 21 kilohertz pitch tools to raise the second one by 7 semitones. And we will use the same volt per octave information and the same gate. And this will go to the second channel, to the right channel of the Lupulo. And let's take this actually from here. And let's use another output from the Bernoulli gate from branches to trigger the recording and playing of Lupulo. Yes, and I reversed it. And let's use also flame. Is it too loud? No, it's okay. Alright. Flame. Oh, it's almost 11. I'm already here 2 hours. Oh, cool. Let's see. This will go to flame. Let's take the blend down. This is electricity. Okay, and what we don't have is more reverb. I always forget to add a stereo channel to take the levels a bit down because it's way too hot. Okay, now we can use, no, let's leave it like this, and zoom out a bit so we can see everything. Save it, of course, and again, This is a big patch again, and there will be a link in the description to this patch in the video later. It started funny and it's pretty cool actually. What do you say, guys? Shall we call it a day? You didn't ask me anything about Foundry, so I didn't went too deep into it. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to write me, email or Facebook. Thanks for joining. It was fun. This was the first, my first live stream, by the way. Congrats. We are using the record function of Foundry. Yeah, I will explain it now. Thank you, Boaz and Vim. Thanks. So, Adam, you want to know? Eric, hey. Everyone are here. Very cool. How fun. Cheers, guys. Okay, Adam. Epic as always. Adam wants to know how to use the recording functionality of Foundry. So I will stay here a bit longer. I will do this again for sure. It's totally fun. The hood, yeah. Okay, Adam wants to know how to use the recording, guys and girls, recording functionality of Foundry. So let's start a new patch. I will save this one. Let's start something new, and I will add Foundry. Okay, so let's do this. First of all, let's zoom in. Okay, Adam, are you with me? Let's wait. There's a delay from the chat. Yes, very nice. Okay, so first of all, you'll have to open the extra CVs, which is the expansion panel. It's here in the right-click menu. And you have a few options here. You want to know how to record. So to record, you will need two things if you want. First of all, you can record the CV in, which will be the... Let me just take this out. I hear myself twice. The CV in, which is the pitch information. The pitch information. So you can record pitch. You can also record the CV2, which is also, by the way, can be used for pitch, but you don't have to do this. And the most important when recording... Oh, what's going on here? The most important when you want to record is you'll have to activate the write function, which is here. Now the write function is a trigger input, and every time it receives a trigger, it will write to the step it's on. So it's not enough to send CV to Foundry. You will also have to send some sort of trigger or gate to trigger the write function. So let's see how we can do this. Let's say, give me an example what you want to write into Foundry. You want to write a tuning machine, sample and hold, a different module, you want to write from your keyboard. Give me an example and let's have a look at it. How about from keyboard? Okay. So from a keyboard you have a few values. You have pitch, you have gate, and you have velocity probably. Maybe not, you don't want to use velocity, but let's say that you do want to use velocity. So what you will do something like this. You will add, let's see if I can Let's have some private quality time. I will open my Arturia here, and I will add the MIDI 1 module. Let's set it. This is my keyboard, for example. It can be any keyboard, okay? Which keyboard you have, by the way? I'm curious. So I will send the CV will go to the CV in. Now there is something you have to keep in mind on which track you want to write. Let's say you want to write on track A, you will have to be on track A. Here, you can see it's written here, track A, and you can see here there's a light on next to track A. If I change it to B, you can see it's changed to B, C, and so on. Now I can also click the all function. You can see there's a star here turned on, and here also all the lights are on, which means that now if I write something, it will write to all the tracks together at once. But I don't want to do this. Let's write just to track A. So I have pitch information going to CV in on track A. Now I want also to send velocity, so I will take the velocity output and I will go to the CV2 input. This is in the expansion panel, and now I can also write velocity. It's okay. Let me know that it's okay that I'm not going too quick or too fast. Now, when Foundry will write, each time it will receive a gate, and it will receive a gate. The best way to do this, very nice. The best way to do this is to send the gate from the keyboard. So every time I hit a key and the gate is open, the write function will be activated and will write to the current step, and it will write pitch information and it will write velocity. So let's do this. I will send the gate to the write function of Foundry. Now I have two options here. I can either when I'm entering a note, I can also move one step forward, so I can always enter a sequence, or I can stay on the same step and look for the note that I want to use. And this we will do with the auto step function. So when the auto step is on, like now, it will move to the next step in the sequence. So I will enter now a note. It's here, you cannot see it, but I will do this. Let's say, let's have also a sound. Just a second. I will add also an oscillator. Let's add the FM operator, and let's add also the audio, and this will go Reaper, and let's see, this will go here. Let's see that it's not too harsh. Now I will send the CV. I will turn the, oh, wait a minute, we will get to this. I will send the CV to the volt per octave input and the gate to the gate input, so I can hear the oscillator, but I will only be able to hear it when the sequence is not running. So let's turn off the sequence, and now when I enter notes, we should be able to hear the oscillator. Let's see. And also look at the steps. Cheers, Dave. Have a good one. Thanks for being here. And yes, let's do this again soon, for sure. Okay, so Adam, you see I'm on step 1. Now auto step is on. So when I click or when I enter a step, it will move one step forward. Let's see. And we could also hear the oscillator. It's a bit low. Let's turn this all the way down, on the way up. Okay, so now it's C. Now let's say E. No, this is D. And okay, so this is how I entered just notes. This was with the beat step. You can do it also with the keyboard in exactly the same manner. We have CV2, which is velocity. We have pitch information. We have the gate is triggering the write function. Again, each time Foundry is the write function receives a gate or a trigger, it will write on the step it's on. It's okay? we are on the same page. So now the auto step is on. Let's say I turn it off and I enter a note. You can see the steps are not moving forward. And have a look here in this, on this screen here, the CV2, the velocity, how it's changing. If I press softly, you can see it's slow. If I press more hard, it's going up. So I'm also controlling velocity. And that's it. Actually, this is how you record from a keyboard. Now if I run the song, we need some sort of a clock. Let's see. The input CV is coming from your keyboard, so it is pre-quantized exactly, but don't forget that Foundry is do you know what happens? Yes, exactly, this is what I want to say. So let's stop this. So Foundry will quantize the signal when it's going in, and it will place it on certain notes. You have to make sure that, we will do it also in a second, you have to make sure that the octaves are okay. I mean, if you are using sample and hold, the range is usually -5 or -10 to +5 or +10 even. So you have to make sure each volt is an octave, so you have to make sure that you are okay with the octaves. Let's do this now with something different. I will delete my keyboard, let's say, and let's say that I want to write with an unquantized signal. So let's use again leakage from volt, which is a sample and also a sample and hold module. Let's clock it with our clock. Okay, so this will generate now random voltages. You can see it here. And let's make sure just that we don't have a too big range, let's say. So we'll take the range down. And now this will go to the CV input. And this is just writing pitch for now. This will go to the CV input, and the right will receive a trigger from the same clock that the sample and hold is receiving. So I will connect it to the same clock. And now let's take it out and let's have a listen. And let's take... Oh, because I was on the auto step, just a second. The auto step was disabled, so let's do this again. You see, you have to make sure that the auto step, if you want to write. Let's do this. Let's take this out. Okay, so I was wrong. I think with the phrase sequencer it's quantizing the signal. Let's see. No, it is no, it's not quantizing. How come? Okay, it is quantizing it. It is quantizing the signal, but it will not be quantized to a certain scale. And that's the problem. I mean, it is inserting the notes where they're supposed to be. So I was not wrong, I was right. But it will not quantize to a certain scale. So you will get something like this, which is also cool. But again, it's not quantized to a certain scale. It is quantized, you will get the notes exactly to the chromatic scale. Yeah. Exactly. which is also cool. I mean, it's depends what you want to do with it. You know, depends what you want to get out of it. It's out of tune, unquantized. Let's have a look. Let's see. Let's use hot tuna for a second, and let's stop it. Out of scale, yeah, out of scale, yeah. This is out of scale for sure. But let's see also if it's out of tune. Let's take the in signal and no, let's take it from the oscillator actually. It's not. It's not quantized. No scale, sample, no noise. Yeah, for sure. But I thought that it will quantize because we have here a keyboard. We cannot enter quarter tones or something in between semitones. So I thought this will act the same, and actually I'm pretty sure that in the phrase sequencer it will act like this. So maybe this is just something that phrase sequencer, let's see. I will do the same with the phrase sequencer. So let's do this. Let's take CV in and also the clock. So now it will write, and let's see if this works different. Let's see. Okay, clock in, and this will go. And here, the FM operator can be detuned by accident. No, it's not detuned. No. Let's take now hot tuna. Let's stop it. Certainly quantized, that's for sure, especially with random range settings. No, the signal itself is not quantized. This is not what I meant. I didn't mean that the signal or the voltage coming out of leakage is quantized. No, it's unquantized for sure. What I thought is that Foundry or the phrase sequencers are quantizing the signal when it's coming in. Let's say quantum, if you know quantum, the quantizer. So quantum will quantize the voltage while coming in, so it can set it in the different keys, in the different notes. So quantum will do this. Apparently the phrase sequencer and Foundry are not doing this. They should, I think, in my opinion, they should do something like this. Although I usually work with scales, and that's how I work. But if you want to work differently, maybe it's better. I don't know. Let me know now. Maybe it's better if the phrase and Foundry will quantize the signal when it's going in. This will be excellent, actually. I think. I don't know. In my opinion. What do you guys think? I think it should be quantized. It makes sense. I mean, I was sure it is actually. In real life case, you would put the quantum in between anyway, or not? Yeah, I would do this, but maybe there are people that don't want a certain scale. They want. Doesn't quantize by default after all. If you want it quantized, you can use a scalar like quantum. Yeah, for sure. But maybe someone wants to use a 12-tone, wants to compose a 12-tone composition. So you can just enter. I always enjoy a walk, a drop of hair, good morning, afternoon. Yeah, you too, Adam. I'm happy I could help. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to write. Have a good one. So anyway, if someone will want a 12-note sequence, he can just enter all the notes on quantum and that's it. I mean, it's not so complicated. It's just to add another module. So no, Adam, to your question, it's not quantizing the signal when it's going in. I was sure it is, apparently it's not. That's just the way it is. Anything else, guys? Something else about Foundry? If not, I think we'll wrap this one. It was really fun. We will do this again for sure. At least once a week, maybe. And actually, I'm working now on the video on Entropia. It will be next week available, I hope, if everything goes well. Fun on the Autobahn. Thank you all. It was really cool, it was really fun. You can record unquantities, but nice info on the side. Yeah, it's always nice to learn something. Have a good one. Thank you. Until next time. Cheers, everyone. Have a good one. Ciao, ciao.